What are lambda functions? Let us explore how lambda functions are used in Python. So by definition, if at all I have to define lambda functions, they are just an anonymous function with all the expressions in a single line. In a more simpler word, it is just a function without a name. Now let's understand what all this magic means by programming. Let's first create a function which just sums all the numbers, whatever is supplied to it. So let's create a function called sum all. So it just sums whatever is supplied to it, x and y. Let's return x plus y. Perfect. Let's call this function sum all. Let's call two numbers 4 and 5. 9. Amazing. Now if we want to create a lambda function similar to this function, whatever we have defined, sum all, what we will do, we will just use the keyword lambda, lambda, and then we will define the inputs x and y, and then the next statement, whatever we do, will be the return statement. So whatever we write this side is by default considered as a return statement, and we have to think that in lambda function there is no next line. All expression has to be done usually in one line. So this is what this function is, and the magic is that I can assign this to a variable. That's it. This is your lambda function, which is equivalent to this function. Now let's call this function and test whether it is working or not. Let's call 4 and 5 in there. Oh, I have to run it. There it is, 9. Benefit of lambda functions comes when we use it inside a function or in higher order functions. Higher order functions are the type of functions where we can supply function as an argument in the function. Now let's explore this by an example. Let's suppose we have an array A with salaries of employees. These employees are getting paid really less. 200 and 700. Then again let's add 900 as well. So let's suppose this is the array with all the salaries of an employee, and we just want to double the salary of all the employees in this array. So we can do this in multiple ways. Let's first create a function def increment salary. This will take input as a function as well as an array with all the salaries inside it. Let us loop through our array. So we are using for each loop here for item in A. Let's apply function on top of our item. Item is equal to func. Okay, so whatever lambda function we are going to supply, we will utilize it on top of item, and we will need a blank array as well to append the items in there. So whatever the state of item is, we will append it to our sample array, and we will return sample. Let's run it. Now let's create a custom increment lambda function. So custom increment is the name of the variable, and this is the beauty of lambda functions. I can supply this lambda function into any sort of variable. So the input to my lambda function is x, and I am just gonna double whatever the element is supplied to it. Just to reiterate, this is the return statement and this is the input statement, and lambda just specifies that this is an anonymous statement, and I'm supplying this whole lambda anonymous function inside this variable. Now let's utilize this beautiful function let's increment the salary of our workers. Increment, let's apply our lambda function custom increment, and the array on which we are going to do increment, here it is. So let's do increment and see what happens. Oh, there you go. So I am doing a mistake here. It should be item. Yeah, there it is. Successfully we have incremented all the salaries of our employees. But this is the beauty of lambda statement. Suppose I want one more custom increment function, custom increment 2. In this I want to increase the salary of my employees 4 times. Amazing. Let's now what we will do, we will just supply this lambda function inside this and we are done. Amazing. But there is now one more stakeholder in our company who wants, I will increase the salary of only those employees twice if their salary is more than 500. Else I don't want to increase their salary. I just want them as it is. Let's now supply this and let's see what it does. Amazing. Now wherever the salary is more than 500, it will just double the salary. Oh my god, rich people getting more money, and poor 100 and 100, these people's salary remain as it is. So guys, this is the lambda function for you. And the beautiful part about lambda function is that it gives very high performance. So if you are mad about performance, go for lambda functions. This is it for current video lecture. See you in next video lecture.